Hi, and welcome to Season 2 of That's Ruddy Mysterious, a podcast of short tales about true mysteries. What created the Potomsky Crater? Who was involved in the 1963 Great Train Robbery? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sruddymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about Roger Ellison. Roger Ellison was born on March 11th, 1963. He disappeared on February 10th, 1981 at the age of 17. He went to school one morning and simply disappeared. What happened to him? Roger was the youngest of 5 children. Roger lived with his parents, Ernest and Evelyn Ellison, in Eckerd, Colorado. His home was approximately 6 miles from Cedar Ridge, where his high school was located. Roger was set to graduate in May of the year he disappeared. Roger was 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed about 145 pounds. He had a double crown birthmark and possibly a cleft chin. He had a fair complexion, freckles, and dark blonde hair. Roger had blue eyes. On the day he disappeared, Roger was wearing a light blue parka, blue jeans, brown leather ankle-top boots, a blue t-shirt, and white socks and sneakers. His mother said he was carrying an orange or yellow backpack, as well as his wallet, which contained $3 and his driver's license. Roger was a popular guy. He was also a straight-A student with perfect attendance. He was a gifted athlete and dependable. He was an avid skier looking forward to his upcoming race, which was set for the following weekend. His dream was to follow in his sister's footsteps. She had been on the verge of making the U.S. Olympic ski team when she stepped back from the sport to get married. The FBI referred to him as a straight arrow, despite his alleged marijuana use. Roger had been accepted to Western State College in Gunnison, Colorado, and had already paid his dorm room deposit. Roger's family said that he had been acting strange in the month before his disappearance. They said he was preoccupied. However, he had no history of running away. Roger had left his skis behind on the day of his disappearance, which was also odd. On the morning of his disappearance, Roger rode the bus to his high school, Cedar Ridge High School, which is just south of Cedar Ridge, Colorado, along Highway 65. Roger was last seen at his locker at 8:30 a.m. by a boy he shared his locker with. The locker was located in the basement of the school. Mitch Coleman said he had seen Roger in class, but this could not be confirmed. When Roger didn't return home from school at the end of the day, his parents called the school. The school told them that Roger had missed all of his classes that day. His parents then called Roger's friends, and when they still didn't find Roger, they called the police the next morning. The sheriff said that Roger had not been missing long enough to file a missing persons report. He told Roger's parents that they would have to wait until he'd been missing for 48 hours. Roger's parents did what any concerned parent would do and began looking for him themselves. Roger's parents found out that he didn't go to classes on the day of his disappearance, but that he was reportedly seen talking to 2 unidentified men. Roger left behind all of his clothing, his car and motorcycle, his skis, and $1,000 in his bank account, which went untouched after his disappearance. When the police did get involved, they suspected foul play. They believed that Roger was abducted and killed soon after. The police say Roger's abductor and killer was probably someone he knew. John Pash was one of Roger's teachers and a person of interest in the investigation. Pash taught social studies and coached wrestling at the school. Roger's family said that Roger had visited Pash at his home regularly to turn in assignments. After Roger's disappearance, Pash went to Roger's parents and told them that Roger had had problems and was suicidal. Roger's loved ones don't believe what Pash said. Roger's coach said that Roger was in fine spirits before his disappearance and that he wouldn't have committed suicide. In 1994, one of Roger's former classmates said that Roger's body might be buried at the house Pash lived in 1981. An eyewitness saw Pash digging in his yard around the time of Roger's disappearance. Pash said that he had been digging in order to transplant some roses. However, February is the wrong time of year to do gardening in Colorado. Pash sold his house in 1984 and moved. Ground-penetrating radar was used at the house to look for Roger's body. It found some anomalies, including 2 spots in the garage, but the police decided not to dig there. Parts of the yard, however, were dug up and nothing was found. In July of 1981, Roger's family offered a reward for information leading to finding Roger. It has not been claimed. For months after Roger's disappearance, Ernest Ellison stood at the curb waiting for the school bus to drop Roger off. Each day when it didn't, Ernest hung his head and cried. Ernest died from a heart attack this spring after Roger's disappearance. There have been 5 unconfirmed sightings of Roger Ellison since he disappeared. Roger's story was featured on the talk show Sally Jesse Raphael Show on April 7, 1944. There were 2 reported sightings of Roger that same day. Both calls came from the same town, Grand Junction, Colorado. In June of 1998, a man made a deathbed confession. He said that he and a friend were out poaching in 1981 and came across a young man bound and held at gunpoint by another man. One of the witnesses says the young man was Roger Ellison. The confessor reported hearing 2 gunshots. The 2 men made a pact never to talk about the incident. After the confession, the friend also came forward to corroborate the story. The area was searched by police in September 1998. No clues were found. In 2005, a poster on the Web Sleuth's website found a potential match for Roger Ellison on the Doe network. The case file number is 1107-UMCO. The man on the Doe network was a white, unidentified male. His skeletal remains were found on September 10, 1981 in Chaffee County, Colorado. Chaffee County is about 150 miles from Delta County, where Roger was when he disappeared. The John Doe is estimated to be about 17 years old, about 5 feet 6 inches tall, and weighed 136 pounds. There were some more bones found in 1986, which the pathologist said likely belonged to the same John Doe. There were 3 cartridge shells found near the body. There were also scraps of clothing found on the body. The John Doe had been wearing blue jeans, a green corduroy shirt, and a t-shirt. As of today, there has been no positive identification made of the John Doe. Someone claiming to be John Pash responded to the Web Sleuth's post. His response was very long. He said that Roger had been seen hitchhiking out of town the day he disappeared. He also claimed that Roger had brought all of his books for all of his classes to school that day, and that not all of his books were required. In his response, the poster insinuated that Roger left of his own accord. The poster also said that Roger did not visit John Pash at home regularly, and that he had only done so once or twice. The poster claiming to be Pash muddied the timeline of Roger's disappearance. He claimed that Roger only returned homework to Pash's house in December or January, not in February when he disappeared. The poster also said that he had provided police with information that was kept from the public. The FBI report talked about a 1979 run-in that Roger had with another boy over Roger dating a girl the boy liked. During the incident, the second boy threatened to kill Roger. The FBI do not believe this is related. Why would the boy have waited 2 years to exact his revenge? What happened to Roger Ellison on February 10, 1981? Did he run away or was he abducted? Who were the 2 men that were seen talking to Roger on the day of his disappearance? Did the poachers really come across Roger on that day in 1981? Why didn't they try to help him? Who is the John Doe that someone identified as Roger Ellison? What do you think? Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ruddy Mysterious. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a review and follow That's Ruddy Mysterious to be updated about new episodes. Tune in next Tuesday for another thought-provoking tale.